Yo, K-Kunnnn here. Today I got early access to Lycaon's boyfriend, but without any further delays, let's try out Hugo. So Dracula is an ice attacker agent that embodies the acronym DPS or damage per screenshot, with his totalized mechanic coming in to take the opportunity to take the spotlight by doing his big PP damage and being pretty good for farming stuff really quickly with how he can just group up small mobs with his chain attack and pretty much front load all the damage with one press of 2 buttons, his EX skill and ultimate. So let's get into his core passive, which is an essay, so let's just summarize it. When you chain attack with him, you get 12% crit rate and 25% crit damage. If you have 1 or 2 stunners, you get a 300 or 900 attack increase. When you EX skill with energy or ultimate with him, you trigger totalize, which calculates the damage based on how long the target is stunned. When you totalize the enemy with Hugo, they recover instantly and accumulate 25% max days if you totalize them when their stun bar is still full. If you EX skill with energy when the enemy is not stunned yet, it will increase your EX skill days by 20%. With this additional ability being activated by another ice unit or a stunner, you will get a 15% in damage increase if you chain attack with him, and if you fight like normal small mobs, it will be like 35%. It will increase your totalized damage by 40% and give you 20 energy back when you totalize an enemy, and it has a 30-second cooldown. Moving on to his EX skill and ultimate, you basically use them whenever the enemy is stunned, or EX skill whenever you are overflowing with energy, or you have enough energy to do 2 EX skill, one being to help building up days and it does insane damage by itself when the enemy is not stunned yet, and the other to use it on the enemy that is in the stun state. His basic has an attack where he shoots something out of his sight, which is cool, but it does negligible damage. But I can see players doing a lot of like quick swapping and just spamming this, because when you dodge attack with him, you basically do his sight shot. His assist is nothing special, it does its job for pairing the enemies with some cool animations. Now then, let's head into stats, which are something like this because I got lucky with my disk drive rolls in the media server. So his skill priorities is pretty much this: his core skill, EX skill and ultimate should be your priority, and then the rest you can level them up if you want to. Now his disk drives, the 3 best ones right now that you can run on Hugo that has similar performance with their own caveats, because right now there isn't any specific disk drives that can benefit Hugo's kit. Maybe he should have wrote like Lycaon's melody like how Vivian did for Phaeton. Maybe he would have gotten his disk drive with that. So anyways, you can run a 4-piece woodpecker and a 2-piece of whatever, as long as it's not like anomaly stats like anomaly proficiency and anomaly mastery. And to like min-max the damage of this disk drive is to go on field when the enemy is about to be stunned to activate the 4-piece effect of the woodpecker electro. You basically just like dodge, counter, like basic attack, and do all the stuff that will get you the attack bonus from the woodpecker electro. And then the next one is a 4-piece hormone punk with the same mentioned 2-piece whatever that has like the good substats on it. This one's pretty simple and brain dead compared to the woodpecker electro. You just switch on him when he's chain attacking, and then you'll pretty much get 25% attack increase when you're on fielding him for like 6 seconds. Lastly, you can run like a rainbow set, aka having like a 2-piece of whatever's good and will run the disk drives you have. So pick the disk drive set that has like the best substats and stats you have. The main stats are on the screen as always. So Wengine suggestions. Obviously the best one is going to be his signature Wengine called Myriad Clips, increasing his crit damage by 45% if you do an EX skill, ult or chain attack, and for 3 seconds you will ignore 25% of the enemy's defense when you're just bonking them. Freaking insane. His second best option probably is going to be Elenjo's signature Wengine, giving him 20 free crit rate if you do like a basic attack or dash attack, and it gives out a free 25% ice damage. You can run Brimstone as a stat stick for him, plus attack in this game scales similarly to elemental damage, so you can utilize all the attack bonuses it gives you. Mercado's Desire is always a solid option for F2P players, free crit rate, and the passive benefits Hugo with the EX skill and chain attack, giving him like 9.6% attack if you max refine it. You can run the Street Superstar to giga nuke the enemies when you ult with Hugo, Gilded Blossom if you don't have any other options, and Starlight Wengine if you have really no other options. And now team options you can run with him. here are 6 possible team options you can run with Hugo, but I highly recommend running Hugo with 2 stunner characters because of the 900 plus attack you get from his core passive. In my opinion, Lighter is probably one of his best supports with how he prolongs the stun duration and buffs the ice and fire damage, but that doesn't mean Hugo is crippled if you don't have like Lighter. Just refer to this image. You could run him without a second stunner, slotting in like Astrayao, Nicole, or maybe even Caesar maybe to compensate for the 900 attack loss. The first team, Lighter, Lycaon, and Hugo, is probably his best in slot team. Lycaon gives an ice rest debuff to the enemy while Lighter gives an ice damage boost while extending the stun duration of the enemy. You're basically 70% on Lycaon and 20% on Lighter to do his aura punches, and then Hugo is just going in when the enemy is stunned to nuke them. Pretty straightforward, parry whenever you see the opportunity and swap back to your stunners. Next team being Qingyi, Trigger, and Hugo. This is a hella premium team if you have both of like Qingyi's signature Wengine and Trigger's signature Wengine with how much damage amplification this team has. And you're pretty much 90% arguably on Qingyi, like 90% of the time, and maybe you can quick swap to Trigger whenever you see the opportunity to EX kill ult or recharge your gauge. And then Hugo takes the kill whenever they are stunned. You can sweat a bit on this team if you want to, but not a lot of players want to do that. Next one being like a flex team, a Caesar, Koleda, and Hugo team, though this just means that you can pretty much realistically like slot in Hugo to any team as long as you have like a single stunner. Well, with Caesar, she pretty much acts like a pseudo stunner. You can slot in like a support on Caesar's spot, it'll just be fine. It can be like Astrayao, Nicole, maybe like a stunner like Ambi, depends on what you have on your account. Use them at your own disposal. And finally, an F2P starter team. If you're just starting out, this team is pretty much your bread and butter until you get an S rank agent. Nothing to really comment about since you just use Nicole's EX skill whenever you see it, and you're pretty much on Ambi most of the fight, with Hugo only coming in to do his totalized damage when the enemy is finally stunned, obviously using Nicole's EX skill to increase your totalized damage with the defense shred. So with the team builds out of the way, let's summarize by going to his pros and cons. So pros, he's a solid DPS. If you don't have any other DPS, he will be a nice addition to your account. Quick farming dailies, he pretty much groups small mobs together with his chain attack and pretty much nukes them with his freaking EX skill and totalized mechanic. He has a lot of F2P Wengine options, so you're not out of options here. Very casual friendly, so you basically just press like 2 buttons, his EX skill and ult, and you'll be doing like 2 million damage instantly when the enemy's stunned. Easily power creepable DPS, so I mean any DPS in this game can be power crept, so it's just a matter of when will they be power crept. He kinda wants Lighter, but again, here's this image. His Wengine's very naughty on him, not gonna lie. That 20% like def ignore, freaking sick. And for this current version 1.7, the next one's literally just like 2.0, so you probably just wanna save up and go for the brand new shiny characters in 2.0, I guess. Probably just get him on a rerun banner. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Subscribe so I can stay in the basement, like for the algorithm, and comment down below, will you still be pulling for Hugo with this damage per screenshot kit? And pullers, I wish you the best of luck. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye!